Yep. And Kanye West came out with a new album. And, or Jan K, whatever, somebody, anyway, it's called Yeezus. And he told the New York Times that he feels like West is now his slave name and Yeezus is his God name. So if everyone could just start calling him Yeezus, that'd be really great. And then he said that he's disappointed in everyone in general, all of you, because he hasn't won a Grammy for the best album of the year yet. He's won like 21 different Grammys, legitimately, but he hasn't won that one, so, you know, you suck, you know, all of you suck. And then he said that he feels as though he is the Steve Jobs of fashion and culture and music and downtown.
And no one shot him?
Yeah, and I don't know what downtown means. That's the most confusing one. I don't know which downtown he's the Steve Jobs of, but then somebody commented, yeah, all of the downtowns in general, all of them, everywhere. And so, but you were reading out on Facebook and somebody commented on the deal, you know, and they're like, bro, Kanye West doesn't even make computers, which is a really solid point, you know. It's already failing at being the king of whatever. So, I just have been sharing that story because it's fascinating, you know? So I'm out on this tour with my wife. We're from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I call it the Levi the Poet's Mouth Tour because it features me and my mouth, and I hope that you enjoy that. So, thanks for being here. I hate every single piece of my art. I am not passionate about anything, but I know that you are. That's why I flock to you. I wonder how you keep your fingers moving. I wonder how panic and age haven't managed to stand in the way of keeping your writing from improving. When I was a boy, I loved to draw outside of the lines. And in my dinosaur coloring books, I had a mind for how the pterodactyls were supposed to look. So I took all of the brightest colored crayons and held them all in my hands and made the ideas mine. I drew an image into the idea of what being God is like. Like if I want to distort this image, well, I made it, didn't I? I created it, didn't I? I turned a blind, ignorant eye as a child to signs you can't miss when you're older. Well, I betrayed faith to logic and age, and even though you can't look past these walls, you can still turn a cold shoulder, like the truth will set you free. But there's been more fear in freedom than there ever was in infancy, so said the sinner to the saint. Do you ever wish that the dealer shuffled your cards a different way? Inside of an inebriated city, the gutters sang from underneath our feet in the form of steam that made its way up to the manholes, splitting the lines of the sand by steel bars beneath the beat, like you were made of water, just the same as concrete. And most of the time I toe the line, but tonight I fell off of it completely, so said the saint to the sinner. Yeah, man. God, these streets defeat me. We all wrote our songs on all of our hearts before we poured them into yours, and they made their way from ink on a page to words uninhibited by lips on a stage to ink beneath your pores. Well, my great-grandfather would have never bothered to ask what my arms mean, but he'd have been damned before he'd have ever been seen publicly. The way that he died, privately. And she told me that her God, he was so beautiful. Yeah, but I have not complained. I've never complained about every ugly thing that he's done, that he does for the sake of saving face. And if there is such a thing as grace, well then I will assume either that I have not earned it, or he's exhausting it all on you. So don't you worry about a thing. I'm sure that your God's got you, just like a puppet on his string. Yeah, let's all not worry about anything. I'm sure our gods have got all of us all like puppets on their strings. She had a stained glass window for a heart, a shoebox for a chest cavity, and a kaleidoscope for a soul, and it reflected its light back at me.